Alright, and we're back. So in the last video I showed you how to go from point A to point B using your motion tweens and creating a graphic, a movie clip symbol. And what we're going to do now is actually convert this into a new symbol where it does this automatically by itself. Let me show you what I mean, because that is hard to understand just by me telling you. It's better that I show you. All right, so first I'm just going to go to Insert, then New Symbol, and I'm going to call this Ball 1 Animation. And I'm going to let this remain a movie clip. So notice that all of this that I've done in the last video was done on my scene. Normally you don't really animate on your scene, but you just set up the animations on your scene. So that's what we're going to do. So in my scene, I'm going to take this animation that I did. I'm going to select these frames by selecting this one first. I'm going to hold down the Shift key. Then I'm going to select the remaining frames. And if I had multiple layers, I can do the same thing. So let's add a few layers just to show you what I mean. So if I needed to get all 4 of these layers, I would start here and I would hold the Shift key and I would select the bottom layer. So I selected this from this layer to that layer, from top to bottom, from left to right. So I select here, hold down Shift, select that, and now I can right click and cut my frames. And let's delete these. Alright, so now I'm going to go to that new frame, that new symbol that I just created, Ball 1 Animation. I'm going to double click this in my layer, my library panel. And now that I'm inside here, and I know I'm inside here because I see this right here at the top, Ball 1 Animation. So I'm no longer in my scene. So now I'm just going to come down here to my layers panel, right click, and I am going to paste my frames. And everything that I copied, paste it over. So let's delete those layers that we don't need. Alright, so now let's zoom out a little bit. All I did was press Command minus, and everything that I've already done is right there. So now, the cool thing about this is that if I go back to my scene, so I can just press this arrow up here. This is my scene, nothing's there. But if I bring this, now this is here. If I press enter, look, it doesn't seem like it's doing anything. And the reason that is because it's a movie clip. But if I press Command Enter, you'll see this is the actual animation. It's playing, or it's there, but it's not showing that it's there because it's a movie clip. If I want to see it clearly, then I would have to make it into a graphic symbol. And it's going to show me the full animation. That is one of the biggest differences between working with a movie clip and a graphic symbol. There are more, but this is one of the big ones. So if you need to be able to see that animation in your workflow, then you will want to keep it as a graphic symbol instead of a movie clip symbol. So let's take this, and let's say the reason I made it the animation symbol is so that I can have multiple. So I could shrink this down, hold down the Shift key, and I could actually create duplicates. And this is what I have. So even if, let's say I brought this here and I wanted this one to start, or better yet, let's do it like this. I'm going to cut this, create a new layer, and I'm going to paste this here, and I'm going to actually drag this layer over to start here, and do the same thing over here. Cut this out of there, create a new layer, and I want it to start right here, so I'll paste it. Oop. Yeah, I can just paste it and then select all of it and move over. So this is what I'll have. Notice that it disappears, that they disappear. So if I didn't want that, let me show you a cool little trick. One, I'm just going to add insert frame, not keyframe, just insert frame right here, which to do that I could press this button, and I'm going to press it until all of them have the same amount of frames. I'm going to select this, and another way to do that is just to highlight these empty frames and select that right there. Another way to do it is if I were to press insert frame after right clicking. Alright, so now the frames don't disappear, but these frames still appear out of nowhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually drag these over so they all start at the same time. But instead of starting at the same time, I'm going to grab this one and I'm going to create, well, let's first select this one. And if I go to my properties panel and notice the options that I want aren't there because I selected this. But if I select my actual symbol, now I have this option, looping options. So notice these options right here. It can say play single frame on the graphic, or play graphic once, or play graphic in loop. So right now they are playing in a loop. Notice that they start over from the very beginning every time. So what I want to do is, instead of playing it in a loop, this one is going to play once and then stop. So let's watch. And matter of fact, before I do that, let's show you I'm just going to change the color. So this one can stay black. This one will be a different color. How do I change the color? I can go to tint and then change my color. If I select this, do the same thing, go to tint and change my color to a different color. Alright, so my first layer is black. This one is going to be on, let's select this, play once. And it's going to start from frame 1. Notice it says 1 right here. This is where it's starting. So if I press enter, notice that when it played, it stopped and stayed in the same spot. So the next one, which is going to be my blue frame, my blue ball, I'm going to select this again, deselect it, and then select it again, hide this option. Now I'm going to also, you know what, instead of playing that once, I'm going to play a single frame. So now it's going to stay on this one frame. Notice what happens when I press enter. It doesn't move at all, which is what I want. So now, by frame 24, I'm going to have that one actually take off. So I'm going to enter a keyframe here, and this is where this frame, notice when I enter the keyframe, some of those options went away. So I'm going to have to select it again, and now I can change it to play once. So what's really happening, let's hide this frame for now. So this is what's happening. It's like the black ball is giving him permission to go once he lands, or once he gets to his position. So that's what we have. And if I wanted to continue that, I can do that again over here. Let's make this visible. So for this time, I'm just going to change the position of the green ball. Alright, so the green ball is going to be over here, but this time, instead of him going in the same direction, I'm going to have this one go the opposite direction. But how do I do that? That's the question. So let's, first off, we're going to need to add some more frames. So let's go to the 3-second mark, and we're going to select this button right here. Now that's going to give us all the frames we need. We're going to go back to the 2-second mark. Then we're going to add a keyframe there. But at the very top, we're going to make sure that this frame stays where it is. So we're going to go to Play Single Frame Graphic, so that the green stays where it's supposed to be the entire frame. Oh, made a mistake. Let's just bring this all the way over. And then let's keep this frame here. Play one frame, and that's going to be frame number 1. Oh, I see what happened. Alright, so we're going to have to come here and bring this over here. Alright, there we go. So now, in order to make this go the opposite way, notice, first let's create the keyframe. Let's not forget that. F6. If I just rotate this, notice that this, if I try to rotate it now, it's going to rotate from that pivot point, which is out of place right now. Normally my pivot point will be inside here. So I'm just going to rotate this. This will be a lot easier to do if it was a different shape, but it's okay. So I'm going to grab this and I'm going to rotate this, and then I'm going to make sure that this one actually animates. I'm going to select that, go to play. So now when it plays, it goes that way. So now let's look at it. There we go. And notice that because we did all of our motion tweens in our symbol, we didn't have to actually do another set of motion tweens. Yeah. So everything was already animated. Here, all we had to do is place the scene. So, yeah. Just wanted to show you that. Make sure that you knew or had a better understanding of what you can do with symbols. All right. See you in the next video.